Today, we're going to take a look at imagery. You might ask, what is imagery? Imagery is using descriptive language that appeals to the senses of the reader. Imagery creates a mental picture for the reader. The five senses are smell, taste, hear, touch, and sight. So, when you read, you might have the words just sitting there on the page. If you're really using imagery, it'll blossom and feel like it's real. Why should we use imagery? Imagery makes the reader feel like they're really there. Description makes the reader feel like they really understand the characters and the setting. Imagery is exciting when it makes the text come to life. Imagery can turn a dry and boring scene into one appealing to all five senses. So, let's take a closer look. You're going to notice that when we use imagery, it shows the reader the story instead of just telling them. So, on the right, you can see we have a picture of Batman at the beach. So, without imagery, the sentence would be, Batman was at the beach. It was hot. While all that is true, it's not necessarily very exciting. We could make it, Batman stood sweating under a hot sun, with sand in his bat shoes and a golden surfboard in his hand. He was ready to take on the mean, crystal blue waves without any fear. So, notice how much deeper the second one went. You notice we have feel. We know how hot it is. We could see the color of the surfboard. We could even go even further and say he could smell the salt from the ocean water. The first sense that we could use is sight. So, if we're using the senses in imagery, we're going to paint a picture in the reader's head by telling them how something looks. So for example, the sentence could be, the Batmobile's midnight paint glistened in the rain as drops of water slipped off the finish and splashed onto the floor. Before it could be, the Batmobile drove very fast. It was raining. Now, we could truly see the Batmobile for the color and what's going on. We know it's raining. We also have hear. Hear allows us to describe what's happening with noises. So, we have kaboom. The Batmobile's tires screamed as the tip of the car thundered through the cement barrier with a low thud. Before, it could have been the Batmobile crashed. Now we can actually hear it. Feel. Using the senses, we know that we could feel a temperature or a texture. Batman ran his hand against his velvety cape as he wiped the heavy sweat off of his forehead. He realized it was going to be a long night in the warm Gotham City. By reading it like this and writing, we could feel how the cape is and that it's warm. It could have been Batman held his cape, it was hot, but now we could really feel it. We also have taste. So taste has to do with flavors. Batman celebrated catching the Joker by biting into a savory slice of melted triple cheese pizza with spicy pepperonis. Before, it could have been Batman took a slice of pizza. Now, without saying too much, we already know it's triple cheese, there's pepperonis, and it was very savory. Next, we have smell. So, we can smell any scent inside of a story. After Batman forgot to take out the garbage, his cave stunk with a thick stench of expired cheese filling his nostrils. Before, the sentence could have been, Batman forgot to throw out the garbage. It smelled bad. But now, we have a very descriptive way to understand what he is smelling. So, if we reflect on this and put it all together, we know we're showing the story through images by using the senses. Most importantly, if we read the bottom sentence, Batman stood sweating under a hot sun with sand in his bat shoes and a golden surfboard in his hand. He was ready to take on the mean, crystal blue waves without any fear. The scent of salt water did not rattle his nerves as he hit the water. It doesn't just go deeper, but it's much more interesting and engaging to read than Batman was at the beach, it was hot. By doing this, we feel like we're there, and ultimately, we're much more excited as a reader. You could use imagery to score even higher when you do your writing in class.